Mendy is innocent. He beat the case. So, now that he's innocent, what's going to happen to the girls that lied? Are they going to get jail time? Because they should. They've ruined his career. He would have had a treble right now. So what punishment are they going to get?
Men get their lives ruined every single day by false allocations of sexual misconduct. People get mad when you say that. Well, some of them are true. Some of them may be true, but they don't have to be true. And that's the culture that we live in. We live in a culture where men can be accused of things. It could come out 3 years from now that he actually didn't do this, but by then his shit is all ruined. And they know that. This happens to actual, just regular men on a daily basis. A relationship went bad. Some sort of, bitter feelings. Oh, all of a sudden there's these accusations. And then all of a sudden the man is fired from his job. He's dropped from his contracts, ostracized by his peers and by society as some sort of sexual predator, when in reality, dude, they just broke up and it didn't go the way someone wanted. Like, we live in a double standard society where men are literally at the mercy of accusations. And this is why it's my opinion that if a man is accused of rape and he is found to be not guilty of rape, the accuser should have to serve the sentence of the actual rape.
Yeah. And she wasn't just accusing you of things, she's accusing a lot of other people of other stuff as well. But for you, you're 18 years old, you've done nothing to this woman, and suddenly you're faced with multiple rape and assault charges. What are you thinking?
I was disgusted. I didn't know what was going on. I just felt horrified. I was scared. I didn't know. And then when I found out I was being sent to prison, I said to my mum, I'm not going to be coming out alive because I don't want to go to prison even if I did do something. So why do I want to go if I'm not doing something wrong?
You were put on the sex offenders wing of Preston Prison.
Yeah.
And you had to share a room with a paedophile.
Yeah, and he told me he pleaded guilty to that offence.
What was the offence?
He sent pictures to an 8-year-old kid.
What did you feel about having to share a cell with someone like that?
I felt sick, physically sick.
And you were there because the police had concluded that you must be guilty of similar behaviour.
Yeah, and I applied for bail numerous times. My legal team applied for bail, I think 4 times, and I was denied it every single time. And then I just got woke up one morning by the prison staff, and they said, you're in court. And I was confused because I didn't have any notice beforehand. And that's when I went to court and I got out on bail, but I wasn't allowed to go back to my hometown. I had to sign on the police station every 2 days.
And people in your hometown thought you were a rapist?
Yeah, I was named in the paper.
What did they do?
I had rapist spray painted on my house. I had my windows smashed. My mum had to move out of her house because of it all.
And you spent 10 weeks in prison yourself?
Yeah.
So all this is going on, and you're completely innocent.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everybody knows you. You're on the front page of the paper. You've been named. Your family's name has been completely decimated by this. But your accuser, who's made it all up, she remained anonymous.
Yeah, and this is one thing that really confuses me. Why did I get named? But when she was remanded into prison, there was never an article put, she was charged with this, that and the other. Well, there was, but there was no name given. It was just a female. And that's one thing I question a lot.
Now to that false rape charge, 1 year in prison. That sentence tonight for the woman who falsely accused 2 football players from Sacred Heart University in Connecticut of rape. The students say what she did has changed their lives forever, even though they have been cleared of all wrongdoing. Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Solis with our lead story tonight. He's live in Bridgeport. Marcus.
That's right, Bill. Those 2 students were never arrested, never charged with any crime, but the accusation was serious enough, so much so they say they had to leave school, their reputation in tatters. She pursed her lips. She rolled her eyes, but Nikki Yavito's body language couldn't change the outcome. A year in jail for telling a lie that cost 2 young men their college careers.
My life has been altered and shaped in ways that nobody here could imagine.
Malik St. Hilaire was never arrested, but Yavino claimed he and another student raped her while all 3 attended Sacred Heart University in 2016. Instead, it was the Long Island native who was charged when the police investigation revealed sexual activity had occurred but was consensual. Prosecutors say Yavino made up the rape claim because she didn't want to upset another student she was interested in.
Her willingness to accept this plea deal reflects her accountability for what happened.
But it wasn't that simple. At first, Uvino insisted she had been assaulted and rejected a plea deal. It was only during jury selection before trial that she changed her mind again and pleaded guilty.
So I just hope that, you know, she knows what she's done, and the fact that my life will never be the same. Like, I have anxiety, I have like PTSD from this.
It's bad enough that they were accused of such heinous behavior, though never arrested. But then to have her story change over and over and over again, it's as if you were kicked while you were down.
Well, the other student who chose to remain anonymous lost a football scholarship over this. Both men say they plan to sue Uvino in civil court. As for the criminal case, she has been in custody since that guilty plea in June. It will count as time served towards that 1-year sentence.
Now I know she's locked away for a bit longer, it's just a bit of a relief, but I wish it was longer a sentence. I do think I'll be able to move on with my life a little bit, but I'm also going to have the thought in my head that it's only 2 years of my life till she's free again. So as bad as it sounds, I do think I'm going to move out of the area, and so I'm not in the same area as when she's released.
So I'm not sure how my family and I are going to recover from this. The mud sticks. And I fear it may take some time. But as a family, we remain strong, and we will be strong. And we're determined to move forward positively with our lives.
For 2 years, I didn't go out, I didn't socialise, I was 17, 18, staying at home all the time. Not really living a life that a teenager should have done, just because I was scared. For like our own protection, we go out and then something happens, it might just be easier staying at home.
Do you think, well, obviously he's not done anything, but the fact how long it's taken to prove his innocence, he wasn't allowed to say anything, and in the meanwhile he was attacked and all this abuse, and it's taken us 3.5 years to get to this, for the truth to actually come out.
Instead of innocent till proven guilty, you are guilty until you prove you're innocent. Does this make sense? So how do we prove that you're innocent in this case? If you're being falsely accused of abuse, domestic violence, whatever it is, there is a specific act that you are being accused of. You need to start thinking how this can be argued. Because if you want this stopped, you have to prove that you're innocent. And this is the most important thing. If there's any chance that you're not innocent and you can't definitively prove that in the way that the court sees it, then guess what? You have a chance and a probability that this can continue, and it will ruin your life if it does continue. Think about that. Unless you prove that you are innocent, not convince, but prove, your chances go up that this will continue, and if it does continue, it will ruin your life and your kids' lives.
I genuinely can't believe what I've just read. No, chat, this isn't a joke. This is no bullshit right now. I have just been sent by my moderators a tweet accusing me of stuff. Has frankly never fucking happened. I'm gonna read it on stream right now. So it says, since a lot of people are coming out about disgusting acts of a lot of Minecraft YouTubers, especially from the Dream SMP, I decided to come out with my experience a couple of years back in 2021. Since before now, I was scared of the backlash I would face, but now I think that this is the perfect time. Some dates and times might be incorrect due to how drunk I was at the time of the encounter. It all started when I stumbled upon Tobo's videos on YouTube. I was immediately drawn in by his charismatic personality and his love for the game of Minecraft. As a fan, I would watch his streams and interact with him on social media, never thinking that I would one day meet him in person. But that all changed when I attended a party with some friends. Being 16, I wanted to fit in. I decided to drink alcohol for the first time. I quickly lost control and found myself in a vulnerable state. That's when Tobo, who was at the party, offered me to take me home. Okay, first of all, 2021 was peak pandemic, peak lockdown. I didn't go to any parties. I didn't go out of my house. No parties. I was grateful at the time, thinking that he was just a good person, since I didn't even know that it was him until I started asking about what he did on the way to what I thought was my house. I ended up passing out in the car, but instead of taking me home, he drove me to a secluded parking lot. It was there where he made advances to wanting to touch me inappropriately. Never happened. First of all, he drove me home. I literally do not have a driver's license. He made advances towards me and touched me inappropriately while I was doing this, continued to slip in and out of sleep. I was shocked. I didn't know. I blame myself for getting this drunk, and trusting someone who I thought was an idol. But the truth is, I never gave him consent. He took advantage of me in a vulnerable moment after that night. Again, this never happened. I can't say enough how completely untrue and how false that is. It's blatant misinformation. It's complete bullshit, man.
It's disheartening to know that these false accusers often face no consequences. What they fail to realize is that they're undermining the credibility of genuine victims. If many people cry wolf when there's no wolf, when a real threat emerges, no one will listen. It's ironic that we live in a society often labeled as patriarchal, yet we still see these double standards. False accusations can devastate lives and careers. As a society, we must improve. False accusers should face the same consequences as any other criminal. We need to reduce these harmful practices and strive to lower the suicide rate among men. We need to support and protect all members of our community. And that concludes today's discussion on MGTOW Voice. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on future videos. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video.